God damn it, Mona, I gotta talk to you. I'm so goddamn angry my hair hurts. Excuse me, ladies.
All right, girls, run on up to your room and get ready to eat and take these unfinished decorations with you.
Yes, Mona.
Mona, did you see that goddamn TV show last night?
Now, you know me, Ed Earl. I was home studying my Sunday school lesson last night.
Yeah, well, I was in the cedar breaks all night myself looking for moonshiners. But I heard about it first thing this morning. It's all anybody in town's talking about.
Well, if they're talking about the television, then they're giving me a rest.
Nah, that's where you're wrong. That little television idiot always stirring up things. Well, he told everybody watching the news last night you was running a whorehouse right here in Gilbert.
Did what?
Hell yes, announced it right out loud, right on the goddamn news.
Well, that was probably news to a few tourists, and every Texan's still taking a supper out of a high chair. Did he call my name?
Not only that, some bitch called mine.
He did.
Now, Mona, you was taking this thing too light. You forget what you're selling out here. But if that little television idiot keeps stirring things up, it's liable to mess up your playhouse. Mine too, for that matter. I stuck my neck out from hell to Georgia protecting you, and you know there's some folks liable to say it's 'cause of all them campaign contributions you give me.
Ed Earl, you and I both know that ain't even half of the story.
Yeah, you and me knows that, sure. We also know if you was not running a clean place out here, I'd shut you down faster than goose shit run through a tin horn. But what about them 4,600 voters out there? Now, an office holder's got to make ends meet, same as everybody else, and naturally he's going to turn to his friends.
Well, naturally.
Yeah, but the public don't understand politics any better than pigs understand kissing. Loose talk gets started, Mona, you and me could wind up with our tails in a crack.
Oh, Ed Earl, come over here and sit down.
Oh, hell yes.
You know, you have got to learn how to relax. Now, I'll tell you what you ought to do. You ought to go unlock all that bootleg whiskey you confiscated, see, and call out the old church biddies in their fruit hats and let them stand around clapping and singing about Jesus while you come in with a great big sledgehammer and bust it all up. It has always worked before.
You know you can't get folks to come out to a whiskey breaking no more. Not if Lawrence Welk's on the TV. You know, I ain't called me a peeping Tom in Lanville County now on to 22 years. 'Cause they're all at home watching the goddamn television.
Ed Earl, how folks in town taking all this?
Well, okay up to now. You know, they're saying how you always sponsor the Americanism pageant over to the high school.
Well, I hope somebody mentioned that I pay double taxes on this place as Mrs. Mona's boarding house.
Yeah, but you know what? You let that little peckerwood keep running off at the mouth, and folks are going to start crusading. You know, preachers will start preaching, and the school teachers and the JCs, and pretty soon I'll be spending so much time stomping out grass fires, I'd just as well to sell my hunting dogs.
Don't you forget, Ed Earl, that half of the police officers and 2/3 of all the lawyers in the state of Texas grew up right here in this house.
Oh,
No,
God.
I think it'll all blow over in time.
Goddamn television anyhow. Ain't nothing on it but a bunch of meddlers and priors and football boys jitterbugging in the end zone. You remember how nice and peaceful things used to be, Mona? Yeah, that was back when you was a working girl for Miss Waller Jean. Wow, back then, if one of them pissant nickel newspaper editors got it in his craw to start crusading, I could shut him up just by threatening him. How in hell am I going to threaten Mike Wallace or Walter Cronkite? They'll be in this thing next, you know.
Oh, honey, now don't you...
Sheriff, you better make tracks. The mayor called and he is fit to be tied. Oh, and there's a TV man at the courthouse looking for you.
TV man, I bet you it's that Melvin P. Thorpe bastard. Well, I better get on down to the courthouse steps.
Well, that is some lousy reporter if he's looking for you down at the courthouse.
Now, you know, Mona, this job just ain't no fun no more. There's a time, you know, people had some respect for law and order. Now you gotta read folks their rights to them till you go half blind and fill out a stack of papers a show dog couldn't jump over. I got half a mind to give this job back to him, you know.
Well, some folks say you got too rich for the job.
Now, Mona, that ain't funny. All I got is my pension and my good name.
And your Cadillac and your cattle ranch. And Lordy, don't forget that fishing lodge down at Padre Island.
Oh, Lord. Females will drive you crazy if you let them.
Bye-bye, Ed Earl. Y'all come back now.
Howdy, Jewel.
Sheriff, I'll be in the car, Miss Mona.
How you doing, Mona?
I ain't felt so good since I had the measles.
Just goddamn everything.
Ed Earl, the best thing you can do is just put all this behind you as quick as you can.
Nah. No, sir, by God. That damn governor and that television idiot and all them folks that turned tail when this thing broke open. Some of them saying they was my friends. Folks I broke bread with and run rabbits with and took them home when they was drunk. I owe them folks something, Mona. And I always pay my debts. I just don't see how this thing got away from me. I don't see how it turned to clabber the way it done. It just ate me up before I knowed it was hungry.
Ed Earl, I made a lot of money. I had a few laughs. I danced a bit. It's just time to pay the fiddler, that's all.
Oh, God damn. God damn if I just hadn't cursed on goddamn television.
It's over, Ed Earl. Jesus!
You're liable to get right lonesome out there on that ranch, Mona.
Well, maybe you can come over to East Texas every now and again and hunt squirrels or something.
Yeah. Well, you and the girls need a ride or anything?
No, I got my pickup truck and Jules' car, but maybe you could see if you could keep them television and newspaper boys from hounding us out of town if you can do it short of killing.
Oh, now, don't you worry none about that, Mona. I got them peckerwoods roped off a mile either side of your property. I got highway patrolmen and sheriff deputies, constables holding them back till hell won't have it.
That's good, Ed Earl.
Well, I guess I better get me on back to town and start stomping out some of them grass fires. Still plenty of folks riled up, you know.
Yeah, I know. You go on.
Yeah.
Ed Earl,
Yeah, Mona?
do you remember President Kennedy's inauguration speech?
Hell. Ain't that the one where he said, don't go asking your country to do nothing for you? You do something for your country? That it?
Something like that. Do you remember where you were when you heard it?
Oh, hell, cakes. That's more than 20 years now. Why?
Oh, no reason. I just seem to have that day on my mind, that's all.
I remember where I was when Oswald shot him, though. Well, I just arrested me 3 Mexican kids stealing a goat over W.B. Starr Farm. Don't you see, I was just on a routine patrol, and I seen these puffs of smoke up over the Starr pasture. So I pulled that cruiser down into a ravine, and I saw them 3 little greasers grilling up that goat on a mesquite spit and sloshing on the barbecue sauce, enough for LBJ. That's how I knew it was premeditated, don't you see? Them having that barbecue sauce. So I got them all for goddamn felons. Oh, well, I had just slapped the cuffs on them and run them over to the police car when the word came over the cruiser that old Kennedy got shot up in Dallas. Huh. Funny. there's just, I can see that clear as day. Just some things you can't hardly forget.
Amen to that, Ed Earl.
Now, when Ruby shot Oswald, well, I just assled around and I missed that. I surely did. Only live killing they only ever put on TV. Only goddamn good thing ever was on TV, I think. And damned if I didn't assle around and miss that. I seen the films, you know. I mean, they show that film so many times, I like to wear it out. But it ain't the same thing as seeing something and not knowing it was going to happen.
Oh, it never is, Ed Earl. Well, I guess you better run on along now.
Yeah, I guess so.